Guys, this is Bedad and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, I just share my own thoughts and experiences on York versus UofT. And I have graduated from UofT and I've taken a few courses at York, so I think I'm a qualified person to do so. And make sure you're gonna like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're gonna be notified when I upload videos. Okay. I think each of these universities, they have their own pros and cons, and it really comes down to you as a person to make that final call and make that final decision. I believe UofT is just very okay. The setting for UofT is basically you're going to be surrounded with people who are high achievers. I mean, it is normal for people at UofT to study 10 hours a day. It is a normal. If you do that at York, you're gonna stand out. Like, I don't know so many people who do that at York. At least the courses that I took. I took the physical and organic chemistry, and I think they are pretty much like one of the hardest courses that you can take as an undergrad. So at least in those courses that I've taken, I did not see so many people who are just so focused on and they have like that tunnel vision. So it depends on you. If you thrive in a competitive mode and a competitive setting, UofT is the way to go. You're going to be surrounded with people who just study all day. But if you have, if that competition starts like messing with your head and stuff, I would say UofT is probably not the best environment for you to do well academically and also for your own mental health. So I think that's definitely one of the most important factors that you should consider when attending either school. The other one is the GPA, and I'm sure you probably click on this video for this. Is your GPA higher at York? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say yes. And why is that the case? Is because you don't study at all? No. You're gonna be studying very hard at either school if you want to do well. I mean, if you don't want to do well, I mean, click off this video and just go. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So if you want to do well, you have to study hard at both schools. But at least in my own experience, is that at York, the questions in the midterm and in the final exam, the question that you will come across, you probably have seen either the same question or a very similarly looking question on the tutorial or in the class, or the worst case scenario in the textbook. I have not cracked open the textbook, and I got A+ on both general chemistry and organic chemistry courses that I took. So I mean that just tells you something. The UofT is just a whole different game. I mean, there are courses at UofT like a CSP 343 and also I believe CSP 346. That's for neurobiology. I think that's for respiration. I've taken that course and the professor was really open and he just was really straight up. He told us the questions on a midterm will be very similar to the past year's midterm, and it definitely was. But I think, is that a norm at UofT? Absolutely not. I think that's the very exception of the rule. In UofT, usually you studied something and you have to do the questions and a question on the final exam and a midterm. You have to really have that information ingrained in your brain to answer those questions, especially difficult questions. And that was not the case at all at York. Another major point at York is the flexibility that they give you as a student. So what do I mean by that? They have this policy at York where basically you can, like, for example, not attend a midterm or a lab and have its mark being transferred to the final exam automatically. We did not have that at UofT, at least in my time that I was taking courses, and I think that's definitely a major point that can help you to boost that GPA. I mean, you have so many exams and midterms and labs just coming up in a week, and it's just gonna get really messy. So you can not attend like one of the labs and just put more time and emphasis on the other stuff and just do well on them. And I think having that option is definitely helpful. That being said, you still have to get 50% on each component. Like, for example, 50% on lab component and 50% on like exams and stuff. So you probably, like, out of like 5 labs, you have to show up to at least 2 of the labs. But you can pretty much skip the other labs and have this mark being transferred to the following exam. I mean, that's just incredible for someone who just want to do well academically and in terms of the marks, that's a blessing in my opinion. So I think that's definitely one of the pros of York University. Another, I think a pro of UofT is research. If you want to do research, UofT is the way to go. I mean, I did not try to connect to people at York, but if you do this like well at UofT in terms of your GPA, you can just send your transcripts and send your resume, and you're gonna come across people who want you in the research lab. So if research is something that interests you, just go to UofT. I mean, you're gonna find so many endless opportunities at UofT, and it's very well funded. You're gonna do well at UofT if research is your end goal. But if and you know, this is my final thoughts on it. I mean, if research is what you want to do, just go to UofT. I'm sorry. If marks and GPA is something that you want and you want to go to like a professional school, like a medical school, like a dental school, or like a law school, probably York is a easier path. It's a safer path for you to take. Can you go to UofT and still get to medical school or dental school? Absolutely yes. There are so many people who've done it. But I would probably say if they have been to York, they would have gotten in like no problem. So it's really dependent on you as a person. So if I went back and if I had to redo this all over again, would I go to UofT versus York? Because I went to UofT for my undergrad. I probably go to York. It's hard to admit. It was easier and a safer path to take. Because my end goal was to go to a professional school. So that was my thought. You know, I mean, both schools, if you're worried about professors, they have so many great people. They have so many great professors. I mean, I don't think that's a factor that's gonna make your decision go left or right. Like, I mean, either way, you're gonna be fine. Professors are just great people, nice people, and very respectable, and they know a lot of material. They are, you know, they're ahead of their game, both in UofT and York. So I mean, in terms of professor, both university will offer you incredible people, incredible professors. So I don't think that's gonna make a difference at all. It comes down to you wanting that GPA and wanting that mark to go to professional school, or you wanting to go to research. And so it's something to think about. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment box, and I'll be happy to answer all the questions.